You're listening to Release Your Resistance with Bex Beltran, episode 112. Welcome to Release Your Resistance. This is Bex. The only reason why any of us don't have what we want in life is because of our own resistance. Right now, I'm learning how to recognize and release my resistance, and this podcast tells you how you can release your resistance so that you can live the exact life that you want. Let's get started. I have another episode about journaling for you today. You might think, wow, you talk a lot about journaling. And it's true, I do. I love journaling. It has made such an impact in my life. And I keep on meeting people who keep on getting the benefits from journaling in their lives too. So I'm going to keep talking about it. Specifically today, I want to share with you how you can use prompts in your journaling practice. For over a year now, I have been hosting journaling and friendship meetups, both in person and online. And oftentimes people come to these meetings and they say things along the lines of, I want to journal, but I don't know what to write about, or I just stare at the blank page. And I think prompts are a perfect answer to that problem. Another problem that people tell me is that they start journaling, but then they cannot or do not keep the habit going. And there are a lot of different reasons for this, and one of the reasons is because they are not seeing the benefits of journaling quickly enough to make journaling a priority and keep pushing through any resistance or inconvenience or discomfort that comes along with starting a new habit. I can tell you that writing with prompts is a great resource to help get the benefits of journaling even faster. Prompts help shape and influence your journaling in the best way. Using prompts puts your brain to work, solving the situations and thinking about the things you want to think about on purpose. Prompted journaling helps you go deeper and get to know yourself better. We're not all talented writers. We're not all natural storytellers. My own journaling journey has definitely evolved since the time that I decided I was really serious about it and wanted to make writing every day a priority in my life. I can see so much improvement in my journaling, and I do attribute much of that improvement to using prompts. If you think that your writing should be better than it is or should make you feel better than it does, you might just need more or different prompts than what you have been using, especially if you haven't been using any at all. If you are already a dedicated, consistent journaler, you might also find prompted journaling helps if you want to take your writing below surface level and take your writing in directions that you haven't gone before. The agenda for today's episode is to share some of my strategies and beliefs around using journal prompts, and then, because I love lists of 10, I will give you 10 places you can find or 10 ways you can use journal prompts to start using them immediately. The first strategy is recycling prompts. Recycling prompts or using routine prompts helps you to see patterns and progress. This would be especially helpful for you if you find that you're in some kind of rut, or if your journaling seems a little bit repetitive, or if it just seems to be skimming the surface. You might really transform your writing practice just by introducing a few prompts or by mixing it up a little bit. The prompts don't always have to be new. I definitely see so much benefit from recycling prompts. And in case you're wondering what I'm referring to, I am not talking about questions about sustainability and reusing plastics and paper. Recycling prompts means using the same prompt over and over again. I use a collection of prompts periodically, so even if I answered that prompt 3 months ago or last year, when it comes time to use the prompt now, I'm a different person. I'm in a different mood. I've had different experiences since the last time that I answered that prompt. I can see the prompt as if I am seeing it for the first time. Sometimes I think that I'm writing a brand new answer to a recycled prompt that I've just thought of right now for the very first time. But if I do find a previous answer to that same prompt, it might be really similar, maybe even word for word. And this gets me to one of the other benefits of recycling prompts. It helps you see patterns and repetition in your thinking. If you didn't write those down for you to flip back through and reread, you may not realize how repetitively you are thinking those thoughts. Alternatively, if your thoughts have changed since the last time that you answered the prompt, that might also help you see progress in your thinking, which is, again, one of the benefits of journaling. So if you see, oh wow, 6 months ago when I answered this prompt, I didn't see all my options. I was pretty close-minded. I felt pretty down about it. And now here we are 6 months later, I ask myself the same prompt, I see a lot of options. I have a lot of hope and optimism about this topic. Then you can give yourself credit for your progress. Celebrate. Really acknowledge the transformation that you created in your own thinking because of your journaling habit. That's why I think you should recycle prompts. The other way to reuse prompts is to have routine prompts. This means purposefully and periodically using the same prompts in a routine. That could be daily, monthly, weekly, annually, or any kind of routine or schedule that makes sense for you. The routine prompts that I give myself in my current journaling practice are a daily gratitude prompt. Here's the first one. Every day at the end of my journaling session, I write 3 things that I am so thankful for. Sometimes it's more than 3, but I always want to write down at least 3 things that are super current. I think of things that I am currently grateful in this current moment, like within the last 24 hours or so. Yes, of course, I am always grateful for my family and my health, my home, but those aren't what I write to answer that daily routine prompt. Instead, I write things like, I am so glad that my husband made me a latte yesterday, or I am so grateful that we had such a lovely dinner with our friends. Research shows that daily gratitude practice like this puts our mind on the path of looking for the positive. If you cultivate this habit, you are creating a little background program humming in your brain's computer 24/7 on the lookout for what you appreciate. I love using this routine prompt every day. I have a few different weekly prompts that I also love. One is my Manifesting Monday prompt, where every Monday I write what I am manifesting. Backing up, for the gratitude prompt, I use hearts as my bullet points, and for the Manifesting Monday, I use stars as my bullet points. This weekly prompt is so fun. I love flipping back to see what I have manifested, either within the same week or within the same month or a year later. It just is really fun to see those journal entries every Monday. Writing what I'm manifesting keeps what I want for myself at the forefront of my mind, so that when I notice those little nudges or opportunities to get what I want, I take action on them. Manifesting Monday is also a way to flip my own attitude about Monday, because manifesting Monday is a lot better than Monday. Another weekly prompt that I do as a routine is my weekly evaluation, which has also evolved since the time that I started. Every Saturday, I used to write what worked this past week, what didn't work, and what I'm looking forward to next week. I did that for probably about 2 years or so. And then I noticed that prompt wasn't really giving me the feeling that I wanted. It didn't really create the experience of thoughtful reflection and optimism that I was hoping for. So I changed that weekly prompt, and now my weekly evaluation is, what do I get credit for from this past week? And what am I looking forward to in the coming week? This is just such a great reflection exercise. Again, it's something that is the same every single Saturday. It's a great way to close off the work week and get into my rest, recharge, and reflect mode over the weekend. I've talked about my monthly interview, my Thankful 30th gratitude prompt, and my annual birthday list prompt in prior episodes. So if those pique your interest and you want to revisit what those are all about, you can go listen or re-listen to those episodes. They are really good. I will put the links for you in the show notes for this episode at bexby.org/10 prompts. That's 10 PROMPTS. And just really quick, because it is so fun and because it is a great alternative to New Year's resolutions, the annual birthday list prompt is something that I look forward to and do every year on my birthday. I make a list of everything that I have created and achieved and accomplished since my last birthday, and everything I hope to create and achieve and accomplish by my coming birthday. And there is a whole episode about that for you to learn more. And of course, there's also a notebook where you can keep track of your birthday lists too. This is the Release Your Resistance podcast. So let's talk about resistance. Certain prompts may be resistance finders for you. If you see a prompt and think, oh, this doesn't apply to me, or I don't want to write about this, you may have just found some resistance. It might be a sign to check in and explore a little. I have trained my brain to be on the lookout for that resistance. Whenever these prompts come up, if my brain immediately says, no thanks, not for me, that's a signal that I should check in a little bit and it's time to explore further. I have made it a rule for myself that I am still going to use that prompt even if I feel resistance. If I get a prompt and the message that I get is not today, this doesn't apply today, that's okay. I'm still going to write about the prompt and maybe why it doesn't apply to me today. Maybe it's becomes an opportunity to be appreciative that I'm not struggling or there is no big issue that I'm handling right now. Don't let resistance to whatever a prompt is about stop you in your tracks. Let the resistance be there and then poke around a little, explore a little, and maybe write a few words about the resistance itself. You could even start your response with, this prompt doesn't apply to me because, and then that unlocks a whole new layer for you. I'm quickly detouring from this episode to let you know you can commission a hand-painted, one-of-a-kind portrait of your dog or your friend's dog. These fun and heartwarming works of art are created with acrylic paint on an 8x10 canvas. All you have to do is answer a few questions about the painting that you want, send me the photo of your cute little dog, and pay the calendar fee to get started. When I finish the painting, I will send you a photo of your custom art piece, and your satisfaction is guaranteed. If you like it, pay the balance and get the painting. If you don't love it, or if you've changed your mind, just let me know and we will leave it at that. To see some examples of the dog paintings that I have already created for happy dog moms and dads, or to request your own puppy's portrait, go to bexby.org/dogs. And now let's get back on track with the episode. Okay, now I want to tell you about 10 places or ways you can find journal prompts for your journaling. The most obvious one is to get yourself a prompted journal. These are available all over the place. They're available in hard copy, digitally, in any size, format, probably any language that you can imagine. I have created all types of prompted journals, and I can definitely recommend my own. You can find them in my shop. And just to share with you, one of the downsides of a journal that already has the prompts written in it, for me at least, is what if the cadence of the prompts doesn't match the cadence of my writing? What if I write a lot and there's a prompt at the top of every single page, so I haven't even finished writing today's journal entry and here I get another prompt? If that's the case for you, you could do a couple different things. You could white it out so that you have a blank page. I love using Bic whiteout correction tape, and that is one of my journaling tools. You could also just rewrite the prompt later on in the journal or in a list at the back page. You could just make a list of your unused prompts and use them a later time. If you think printed prompts in a journal come way too soon for you, maybe that journal is not the right prompted journal for you. Maybe you want to get one with the prompts more spread out so that you have more space to write. The second place to find journal prompts to write about is in your own personal life. Use today's quote-unquote struggles as prompts for a few days out. As a situation or struggle comes up, you can write a prompt about the situation a few pages later in your journal. I love this so much. This is such a perfect way to give yourself a very relevant to you current prompt. You're basically saying, Okay, I recognize that I have some struggle or some drama about this topic that I am currently writing about today. A question that I have about it, or something that I would want to solve for, is whatever. Flip ahead a few pages and write that question or that thing that you want to solve for on a blank page, 3 or 4 pages down, and then you just forget about it. This is so great because you have taken action, but you haven't really put yourself in a situation where you're spinning on it and you're really just getting worked up and you're clinging to it. You've put it down in writing with the intention to think about it and solve for it with a fresh mind. So a day or 2 or maybe 3 days later, whenever you come across the new prompt that you wrote for yourself, time has passed. You've gotten some sleep. Maybe you are more insightful. Maybe you are in a different situation than you were 3 days prior. Then you can really answer that question with some clarity and with some reflection. It's just such a helpful way to use journaling to solve your own problems. I told you that I like to reuse my prompts, so my third way for you to have prompts in your journaling practice is to get a list of prompts. These are available from so many different places and people. I have got a list to email to you. You can sprinkle those in, and when I say sprinkle, it really just means write them in the margins of your journal or at the top of the pages. And the way that I do this is I get my brand new, completely clean, unwritten in journal. And before I even start my first entry, I have my prompt list ready to go. Actually, I don't even really use a list. I usually use my previous journal. And then I'll just use my thumb to flip through a few pages on that clean, fresh journal, and I'll write the prompt in the margin. I'll flip a few more pages and write another prompt. I'm not counting. It's not exact. It's very random. But I'll just flip the pages and write the prompts, and I keep doing that until I have prompts sprinkled throughout the entire journal. And these are prompts that I know and love. They have brought me so much awareness and so much clarity. They are tried and tested, and they're all waiting and ready for me in my new journal. And you know what happens when I write in that new journal? A new prompt will pop up some morning, and it is always the one that I needed that day. Whenever I come to the prompt, I think, oh yeah, this makes sense that I got this prompt today. This is exactly what I needed. We already talked about routine prompts, so that is the 4th way that you can use prompts in your journaling. And the 5th way is really fun and tactical. You're actually using your hands. So just like the last few, first step is to get a list of prompts. And I will email you one if you need one. Just go to bexby.org/weekly, WEEKLY. So you get your list of prompts, you print them out, and you use a paper cutter or a pair of scissors and slice them up into little slips. And each slip of paper has a little prompt on it. And then you fold them up so they look like little fortune cookie slips, and you put those prompt slips into a little box or a small bag or some little container that you have near your journaling supplies. And every morning when you're ready for your prompt, you dip your fingers into that box or bag and you pull out a slip and you unfold it, and that is your journaling prompt for the day. It's almost like a little ritual. It gives you a little sense of surprise and wonder and chance. When I use this method, after I write about the prompt, I will fold up the slip and I'll put it in a second container because I recycle my prompts. Once I've gone through the whole set of folded prompts, then I take the used ones and I put them back into the first container, and that way they can be ready for me when I run out. And the great thing about this system is you can keep on adding new ones into your mix. The 6th option that I have for you to incorporate prompts into your journaling is to use a card deck. You've probably seen these decks at bookstores or metaphysical shops or online or all sorts of different places. You can get oracle decks, affirmation decks, tarot decks, angel card decks, all kinds of decks of really beautiful cards with really meaningful images, words, statements, and affirmations. So what you would do is you'd have your deck nearby with your journaling supplies, and when you're ready for a prompt, you could just take the first card off the top of the deck, and that would be what you would write about that day. Or you could shuffle them and mix up the cards and then select a card to be your prompt of the day. I love the idea of using a deck as a journal prompt because they are so artistic. They're beautiful. Someone else has written the words for you, so you get a little bit of external influence, especially if it's along a theme that you really value or care about. And again, this method creates just a little bit of a ritual with your journaling practice. Going to the complete other side, the seventh idea that I have for you is the polar opposite of having a beautiful spiritual deck with artwork. And this method is to have a template or a form. So practical. It's super practical and it's super standardized. And I've talked about before how for a while I was keeping a quick entry journal on my phone in a little app. Every day I would get a reminder and I would just open the app and it would have a template of 6 or 7 quick entry questions and I could answer with a short or one-word answer. And I really loved that form of journaling at that time. If you don't have a lot of time to journal, or if you don't like your handwriting, or if you don't want a book of your innermost thoughts laying around that anyone could open and read, using a little template on your phone or your device lets you keep a record of how you're feeling and what you're doing and thinking about. The other way that I use this template or form method is my monthly interview. And you can go back and listen to that episode where I describe how I have a series of maybe 9 questions on a printed form. And I go through my interview with myself once a month. And then I tape that form into my journal wherever it goes chronologically. And of course, yes, there is also a notebook with this monthly interview so that you could get that if you want to keep all your monthly interviews in one collection. The 8th way that you can incorporate prompts into your journaling practice is to find a Facebook group that gives you daily or periodic journal prompts. And I host a Facebook group called Journaling and Friendship. Every morning, a new journaling prompt pops up for you. And some people like to answer the prompts in the comments. That's a fun way of public journaling, but that's certainly not expected or required. Some people just comment, "This was a really good prompt today," or they'll just do a little like symbol or the love symbol to show that they saw it and that they used it. And some people probably don't even journal about those prompts. Maybe they just think about them throughout the day. And so that might be a good thought exercise. The Facebook group is another way that you can incorporate prompts into your life because at least whenever you log into Facebook every day, you get to see a journaling prompt pop up in your feed. The 9th suggestion that I have for you about how you can incorporate prompts into your journaling practice is you can find prompts almost everywhere nowadays. I have read them in books. I have heard them on podcasts. There are courses that offer prompts as part of the curriculum, like as homework, or continue this topic on your own. There are Instagram hashtags you could follow and see prompts pop up in your newsfeed. I'm in a program right now, and a big part of the membership is that it comes with prompts around that week's topic. The advice here is really just look around. Now that you've heard me talking about the benefits of using prompts in journaling, I bet you can find a lot of sources that will provide you with prompts. And here we are. The number 10 way that you can introduce or incorporate prompts into your journaling is a new weekly email series that I am starting for you so that you can get a weekly journaling check-in every Sunday. It's free to join. Every Sunday, I will send you one single email that will either have a mantra for the month, or it will have some prompts that you can think about in the coming week, or some affirmations, or maybe some journaling tips or information. So this is another way that you can get very, very light accountability and a reminder to journal. And I'll use the weekly email to announce upcoming journaling meetups or upcoming journaling workshops or events. And of course, I will point out featured journals and notebooks that you may want for your journaling practice. Whew, we covered a lot today. Now you know how using journaling prompts can help you go deeper in your own journaling and maybe even improve or evolve your journaling experience. Consider recycling your prompts. And if you don't know where to get them, I have a list of prompts ready to email to you right now. Plus, I'll email you a few prompts each week if you like. And you can also get new prompts every single day in the Journaling and Friendship Facebook group. You can find prompts in books and podcasts and programs. You can create journaling routines for yourself. And of course, you can get yourself a prompted journal. There are so many ways, so I am sure at least one or more of these will work for you. Thank you so much for listening today. Let me know in the comments which way or ways you will experiment with journaling prompts. I'll put the links to everything that I mentioned today, plus the link to request the list of prompts and receive weekly prompts at bexby.org/10prompts. That's bexby.org/10prompts. I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye. This has been Release Your Resistance. Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, make sure you're subscribed and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Also, think about someone who you know who would love this episode and share it with them. There should be a share button on your app if you're listening to this on your phone. If you'd like to continue this conversation one-on-one or in real time, come visit me on my site at bexby.org to see how we can work together.